absolute market mayhem.
It's over, folks. We've tried capitalism. It ain't gonna work. You might as well board up the old casino because we are done so. Now, I know, obviously, I'm being a little bit facetious here, and I also know that you're probably mad because you could argue I did clickbait you a little bit. I'm sure my editor made a pretty aggressive thumbnail for this, and hey, I even titled it that basically the world's gonna be over, doomsday, blah, 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 blah. But like I said, I did that to be a sarcastic ass. I mean, seriously, folks, we put in one red day and everyone starts losing their minds. Does that really make sense? And hey, I get it. We're all emotional, especially when money's on the line. Looking at my own account today, it wasn't pretty, but in this video, I'm going to hopefully calm everyone down. 3 different interesting facts from the nerds in the lab that I want to share with you to show you that very much the bulls are in control. Very quickly, before we get into the nitty-gritty of it all, this is going to be a slightly new style of a video for me, so if you enjoy it, please let me know in a comment below. Obviously, the team's goal is always to make the best content that you guys enjoy at the most, so let me know if we're on the mark, getting closer, missing it. Just would love to hear from you. And also, while you're down there in the comments, I would love your prediction for tomorrow. Do you think we're going to get that classic turnaround Tuesday? Do you think the bulls are going to come back in? Or, as I was kind of joking at the beginning of the video, do you think the top's put in and it's nothing but selling from here? Like I said, let me know in a comment below. Just for the sake of transparency, I'm filming this video on Monday, July the 7th. I hope you had a great holiday weekend, but apparently the market didn't get enough rest and relaxation. Dow slides more than 400 points Monday as new Trump tariffs incite a sell-off. Now, very quickly, before I get into explaining why I personally believe the bulls are fully in control, let me explain why the bears won out today. It had to deal with President Donald Trump and what's going on with the trade wars and his new trade letters, where early this morning we found out that he was going to be hitting Japan with a 25% tariff, and also he didn't really stop there. He was also basically same numbers, 25%, and this was for South Korea. At one moment, the market started to recover. Everyone's like, okay, it's just those 2 countries. We're all okay. And then the afternoon happened. And as you could see, no, there was many more and a higher percentage. Right here, Laos hitting them with 40%. Also, Myanmar hitting them with 40%. A little bit less here. South Africa going to hit them with 30%. And then back to Malaysia, also here at 25%. And then last but not least, Kazakhstan at 25%. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different countries, unfortunately, not getting the news that they wanted to. And obviously in the short term, as you can see from the market kind of selling off all day, not so happy with it. To be fair, there were some green companies like Coinbase and Palantir. In fact, Palantir did really well. There were some uniquely red companies such as Tesla down almost 7%, but across the board, it was pretty red. Not necessarily a horrific bloodbath, but definitely more red in the S&P 500 than green. So that's it. That's it in a nutshell of why everyone across the interwebs right now is screaming about doomsday sell-off, the bears are in control, haven't even heard the word bull. If you ask me, people are dramatically overreacting. Check this out. We are literally 1 day removed from an all-time high, and I guarantee you on the internet right now, you can find videos calling for a stock market crash. Folks, we are literally 0.8% away from an all-time high, a record high. How does anyone out there with a functioning brainstem possibly feel confident saying, yeah, no, we're crashing from here? Literally a record high, and you have people panicking because what? We are only allowed to go up. We're never allowed to have a red day. It blows my mind. But hey, I get it. You don't want to listen to another talking head on the interweb saying, hey, everything's fine, or vice versa, saying everything's crazy. Let me hit you with some actual stats. That's why you come here. That's why you come to this channel. You don't want me just to talk. You want me to back it up with, like I said, what the nerds in the lab are cooking up, and check out what we were able to find. Historically, when the S&P 500 rises by more than 25% after a correction of at least a drop of 15%, the forward returns post-World War II have generally shown a strong continuation. Notably, the 6-month forward return interval has seen a perfect record of 18 instances with positive returns and 0 negative ones. Or to put that another way, in the exact situation that we find ourselves in right now, the last 18 times that it's happened, it's had a 100% hit rate of being better off, as in the Bulls have won out 6 months later than the Bears winning out. I should also add on, out of those 18 occurrences, 3 months later, the Bulls have won 15 times, and 1 year later, out of those 18 occurrences, same 18, the Bulls have won 16 times. Now, I know that sounds interesting, and hopefully I've caught your curiosity, but wait, there's more. Another breadth indicator suggests the bullish trend may continue over the next 3 months. Since 1999, whenever the percentage of S&P 500 stocks trading above their 200 DMA has risen from 20% above 60%, the average 3-month return has been 5.2%, positive 92% of the time. Obviously, this signal has once again fired, and even though this isn't necessarily the first study of a drop and then a pop, this is kind of interesting because it's the second set of data giving us breadth, and guess what? Same thing, a quarter out, it's saying the bulls are in control. Now, at this point, I hope that you're mopping up my spill, but let me hit you with the most crazy one. This was a study conducted by JP Morgan, and when I read it today, I was floored. What they did was look at the overall S&P 500 and what happens when you're buying at highs, and does it do those previous all-time highs now turn into market floors. Right here, all-time highs and market floors. The study was from 1950 up until modern day. Number of all-time highs since the start of 2024, there's been 60 of them. Percentage of days the S&P 500 closes at an all-time high, only 6.7%. Percentage of all-time highs that act as a market floor, 30%. That in itself is interesting, but it's on the right side here that is absolutely amazing. Average cumulative S&P 500 total returns if you were to invest on any day, a random day selected, or investing at a new high. Investing at a new high in the 3-month period underperforms when you're just picking a random day. But as soon as you get to 6 months, they're pretty much equal. And then here's where it gets insane. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years later, it's actually more profitable for you to be investing at new highs because they turn into floors rather than just picking a random day. I know that seems super counterintuitive and super backwards, but hey, the stats are the stats. We shouldn't feel emotional about them. Like I said, I myself found it to be surprising, but guess what? The bulls dominate, especially when we're at fresh all-time highs. Very quickly, I should add, for the JP Morgan study, there were some other nuances. So for those of you who are interested in the exact numbers, if you're going to nerd out about it, I'll make sure it's linked below. But what you need to take away from this is that new highs, at least with respect to the overall market, begets new highs. The overall market clearly shows trend following mechanisms, as in when we hit highs, you could probably expect new highs even from there. And to tie this back to the current situation, that's exactly why mathematically, no one should be panicking right now. We just hit a fresh high and we have one little baby red day and everyone's freaking out. My advice, and hey, do with this whatever you want, I would say keep calm, look for a nice turnaround Tuesday, and other than that, do not forget about the big picture. Of course, these are my own thoughts and opinions, so I'd love to hear from you in a comment below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think I'm completely missing it? Or do you think I'm exactly spot on? I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate all the good vibes. If you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.